What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Friday. That's right. It's the weekend. We made it. Congratulations. Welcome back to the channel. Having a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down 0.19% since yesterday. So basically, Bitcoin hasn't done anything. Well, actually, it has done something, okay? Over the course of the day, we did pump up to about $10,471, only to simply fall back exactly where we were 24 hours ago. Now, in all fairness, we did see that gold had a subsequent pump up to about $15,032 and then dumped down to $15,003. Why am I bringing this up? Well, because yesterday's topic was the European Central Bank, and did they have anything to do with the pump that we saw for gold and the little pump that we saw for Bitcoin? It's possible, but maybe Bitcoin is just doing its thing and it's still just being a non-correlated asymmetric asset. We're going to talk about that because we do know that Bitcoin has been trapped in this descending triangle for quite some time. However, now you're seeing people start to disagree, say, you're looking at this wrong. We're not going to drop at the end. This is a bull flag, right? I want to talk about that today because you know what? Regardless of what is going to happen, whether we go up or whether we go down, it's going to happen very soon, and some people are going to get caught on the wrong side of the trade. And I want to look at another chart today that maybe could help us to be a lot smarter moving forward, because I do think that when this thing does have its move, which it's going to have a massive move, well, a lot of people are going to get left behind in the dust. So that is what we're going to talk about today. I also want to talk about the fact that Cuba has been able to circumvent sanctions by actually using cryptocurrency, another real use case, right? And also the fact that we have the hype cycle for blockchain as a whole I wanted to talk about, because some people think altcoins are dead. No, I do not believe that altcoins are dead. I believe a lot of them are going to have difficulty coming back, but I do want to show you something that may actually shine some positive spotlight onto the situation. So if that sounds good to you, well, you know what to do. Also, if this is your first time checking out the Crypto Zombie channel and you are not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We do this every single day, and we give away a Ledger Nano S every single Monday. All you have to do is drop a comment on literally any video. Now, I'm giving this a quick refresh live, and once again, Bitcoin dominance at 70.3% on CoinMarketCap. It's substantially higher over on TradingView. You guys already know that. If we do switch to the Bitcoin comparative today, we have some altcoins in the green, some in the red, so it looks like it's actually a bit of a mix today. Some of the biggest gainers of the day include Cosmos, up almost 20%, Dash, Redcoin, Newton, Golem, Electroneum, KuCoin shares, BitTorrent, NEM, MadeSafe Data, and XMax. So not a bad day for the altcoins. Still relatively low volume. We are going into the weekend. We usually tend to see even lower volume, so that could be an issue moving forward. Coin Farm Online has been having, oh, here it goes. I was just about to say it's been having difficulty loading. You can see right here some mild buys, mild buys, neutrals, and a strong buy, essentially still split down the middle with the fear and greed at about 38. Now, we did break out of this sort of descending wedge that we had right here, and if I can draw your attention down to the MACD, you do notice that it is looking bullish. So that is good short term, having a look at that, right? We are clearly just stuck in the whole mess of the EMA ribbon right now. We are still sitting below the 50, which is sort of that neon green, if you could see the line in there, but we are well above a lot of the other moving averages, including we actually are sitting on the 100. But yeah, for the most part, we're still above the 200 exponential and the 200 moving average. And having a look, if we do think this is a triangle, okay, we are sort of trapped in this blue territory. You see we have some downwards resistance here. We also have the major resistance from the entire trend. So if we do bounce around, you could be looking to maybe stay in this area until about September 25th. If we do have a breakout, we'd have to get above this level. Currently, if we were to go straight up right now, that's about the $10,700 level. If we were to fall below the $10,176 level, then we may find ourselves down here. We may wick up again, like we did down here, and get stuck on this trend and continue on. But here's what I want to point out, and this is the big article. Now stay with me because this is going to go against what a lot of people have been saying. So I am expecting some comments below, okay? But I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here and just have a look at a different side of the story, right? So you could see this came out yesterday. By the way, shout out to the crypto savvy community for pointing this out. I didn't even see this article yesterday. So scrolling down here, they go into basically, what is a descending triangle, right? And they talk about how you have to have opposite touching points. So it has to touch the bottom, then the top, then the bottom, then the top, right? Well, I'm going to pull up these charts and we're going to have a look at it, and then I want to compare it to the charts that we're looking at and see if we can come to any kind of a conclusion. So if that sounds good, you guys definitely want to stick around for this, right? So let me pull up the first thing right here. Essentially, is there a descending triangle on the current Bitcoin chart? Well, they say, and by the way, I want to give credit, this was Scott Melker, I forgot to mention his name earlier. He says in his opinion, the idea is there, but the specific criteria is not met. For example, they say that the two touches on the horizontal support do not have a touch up to the descending resistance between them, or in other words, the second wick does not even technically touch. Okay, and that's why we were putting in a little bit of an upwards trajectory, right? So having a look right here, the difference in lows using the wicks is over 10% of the entire structure's height, which lends credence to the argument that a descending triangle does not technically exist. Usually traders look for it to be around 6% to 8%. So if that's the case, then what the heck are we actually looking at? What is the correct pattern? Well, they say there is a confirmed descending channel, often called a bull flag, with 3 touches on the descending resistance and 2 touches on the descending support line. The pattern existed before the descending triangle was even a thought. And that is true, because before people started talking about the triangle, we were just looking at this descending channel. So they say that there is no reason to attempt to draw a new pattern before the previous one is invalidated. And super quick, just on a side note, if you actually go over to Google, and I just literally typed in bull flag pattern. Obviously, I added the word pattern because if you type in bull flag, you're just going to get the matador, with the flag, right? And this is the first image that shows up, the very first image right here, okay? And look at this. Does that not kind of, why can't I scroll here? What's going on, guys? What's going on? Oh, okay. So basically, you see above my head, I don't know why it's not letting me zoom in, but does that not look exactly like what we're looking at right now, right? So you could say that this is the same exact pattern, right? We've had these 2 wicks at the bottom. So just wanted to kind of point that out moving forward. But getting back over here, what about the infamous descending triangle at 6K? Right? Well, they say that the 2018 triangle did fulfill the technical criteria of alternating touches. However, the triangle didn't start at the top of an all-time high where the downtrend began. It actually started at the drop at around 5,873 in February. So in other words, there was already a clear significant downtrend when the pattern began. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'm curious. The descending triangle that printed at the time was a continuation pattern. And in that vein, if the current pattern is viewed as a descending triangle, then traders should expect the same result, a continuation of the trend, which means that you should be expecting the price to rise, okay, instead of falling. But most people are saying that we are going to fall. So anyway, traders would expect the bottom of the line of the triangle to behave as significant resistance on the first retest. This was the reason that crypto Twitter insisted that Bitcoin would have strong rejection against this $6,000 bottom, although it was more like 6,400 kind of. But what happened? Well, if we look right here at the pink area, price passed right through it. 6,000 got cut, like basically they refer to it as knife through butter, right? There was no supply to be found, which is what you would expect after the breakdown of a descending triangle. So basically, to end it, they say a pattern is not a pattern until it is confirmed. So a descending triangle is nothing more than a consolidation pattern, and most often consolidation patterns result in a continuation of the trend. But never forget that a pattern is not a pattern until it is confirmed. So having a look over here, these green lines right here essentially represent our channel, and we've had this chart for quite some time on the channel. You can see this blue line right here does show that we are putting, if we look at just the bodies of the candles, we actually are putting in a little bit of an upwards trajectory, right? Now, obviously, we had this resistance that, I was talking yesterday about resistance that forms within the channel or within the actual wedges, right? And you can see right here, essentially, we whipped up to the top. So the level to beat is really that $10,978 level. And currently we are on this upward trajectory that we started back here, basically at the end of August. Now this is looking to have a breakout by September 20th, okay? We do know that Bitcoin tends to be an impatient asset, and we're probably going to see a breakout a lot sooner. But not only would we have to get above this resistance, we then would have to get above this level right here to put in a short-term higher high. Now, it would still be a lower high compared to the overall trend, but to get out of this little kind of funk that we're in, that's what we would need to do. So essentially, that being said, you could be looking for a major move if we are moving to the upside relatively soon. Now, really quick, I do want to just there are bears out there. Now, this is essentially the Gaussian channel. I don't use this very much on my channel. It's not really an indicator that I talk about, but some people have basically said that there's concern because, as you can see right here, through the entire 2017 bull run, it remained green, and currently we are having a bit of red right now. So that is a bit of a concern because you can see basically once it turned red right here, essentially we stayed in the bear market for quite some time until it flipped green again around March 3rd of the beginning of this year. So that's the situation, right? But if you have a look back here, you do notice that the Gaussian channel has put in some red previously before blasting off into green, okay? So, but if you also look overall, we don't have much price history, and also it depends on, what you're using. If you're using the daily, yeah, like for example, if I was to switch this to, let's say, like the 3-day, well, then we're totally green, right? Obviously, the monthly would be the same. So it's a little subjective here. It all kind of matters, like what you're looking at, higher time frame, lower time frame, right? Personally, do I consider this to be of concern? Not particularly right now. I mean, I'll keep my eye on it, but currently having that, being said, we are still above the 21 exponential, sitting at around that $9,228 level. And if you do think we're going to have this crazy breakout, we're going to fall to the downside. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check out yesterday's video. I'll drop that above. Well, then we may come down and kiss that 8,006, 8,500 if you think we have to close the CME futures gaps. But there is a potential chance that a lot of people might get caught off guard, right? They might be expecting this drop and, maybe not do anything, or they might be holding, or they might be short. And what could happen is if we have a measured move, now this is just rough measured. I don't know where we'd actually break out. Let's say we broke out from the top at the end here. You still could be looking at a mid to high $14,000 Bitcoin relatively soon with the breakout. So just be careful, guys. That's all I'm saying. Now, fundamentally speaking, there are some things that I don't like to see. For example, we did have about 335,868 transactions on Bitcoin in the past 24 hours. There were about 567.22 million Bitcoin wallets that had at least some positive amount of Bitcoin, but only 2.46% of those wallets have received or sent Bitcoin in the last 20 days. So this is showing me that there's a little bit of uncertainty right now. The number of monthly active users is currently in a downtrend, dropping about 21,326 per day over the past 2 weeks. Over 90.46% of the outstanding Bitcoin is held within the top 1% of the wallets, but don't forget, a lot of those are exchanges, okay? So I just wanted to kind of point that out. Also, guys, Mario Draghi says negative rates will not provoke the collapse of the financial system
and will underpin the firm.
And dictatorship and ECB dictatorship and ECB dictatorship.
She sure doesn't think so. Anyway, talking about what Luke Martin said. Now, this is sort of relating to the altcoins because it is a topic of conversation. He says Bitcoin inching higher, but the second part of this is more important for many on here. Bitcoin upside likely puts a cap on the gains that alts were seeing. Major alts started to turn over. View on major alts retracing only changes if Bitcoin fails and drifts back below 10K. And if Bitcoin does lead the rally, then a lot of the alts, even though they will technically get pulled along as far as the USD gains, you will most likely be losing as far as Bitcoin gains are concerned, right? And having a look here, you notice that we are still following this sort of downwards parabolic pressure that the altcoins have. We were being held by this yellow trend. We popped up. We had this high right here on June 26th. And then basically what you're noticing is essentially every time we get to the end and we smash into this wall, we fall. And I've represented this with these uptrends, these purple lines, right? We have this first one. We fall. Again, we fall. Again, we get to the end. Now, this one we struggled a lot because we were on the main upwards trend. So a lot of people were, really looking at that to be support. Unfortunately, it wasn't. We fell down. We tried again right here. We fell. And once again, we got rejected. So currently that is the situation, but I did want to talk about not just altcoins, but hype cycles for blockchain businesses in general, right? Now you could see right here that at the bottom of this cycle, you could see things like blockchain, ICOs, distributed ledgers, cryptocurrencies, digital asset exchanges, right? They have about 2 to 5 years before they think that the plateau will be reached, right? We've already had that hype. You can see sort of sitting at the top right here, blockchain infrastructure, supply chain, logistics, smart contracts. They're sort of at their peak, right? They're starting to sort of lose their luster. You're not seeing people say, here, take my money at every smart contract platform that comes out, right? Used to be all about scalability. Then we were talking about DAGs and tangles. Well, now we're looking at other things like blockchain regulation, healthcare, gaming, oil and gas, retail, media, and we still have all these other things right here that have anywhere from 5 to 10 or even more than 10 years before they actually reach their plateau. So there is still a lot of opportunity for blockchain businesses and even for the altcoins out there as long as they have good utility within their ecosystem. So I just wanted to show you there's still a lot of opportunities out there, but unfortunately a lot of the altcoins that have been around probably are not going to survive. Not to say that they all won't. I think there's going to be some gems that are going to just blow people away, that are going to 100x just destroy Bitcoin as far as gains are concerned. But which ones are those, right? Well, side note, Binance Futures is now live. So Binance officially beat out Backed. So check that out. But obviously, if you are a U.S. citizen, sorry, you're not allowed to trade on Binance Futures. That being said, you guys know I do recommend Bybit. That is my choice for leverage trading. In fact, that's really the only thing I'm using right now. I'm not really trading altcoins. I'm not really buying altcoins. If anything, I'm just looking for good setups on leverage. So if you guys want, I do have a link below. Also, video popping up above if you haven't checked it out. Be safe out there. Don't go higher than 3 to 5 if you're beginning. Not financial advice. I've spoken about that, but moving on, Bitcoin trading is now opening avenues for citizens in communist-run Cuba, and just once again showing you fundamentally there is demand for crypto and Bitcoin outside of just speculating here in the West on the price, right? So you can see that U.S. News claims that the recent advent of mobile internet in the country is allowing Cubans to actually buy cryptos to make purchases online and also to just invest and trade as well. They did an interview with U.S. News local resident Jason Sanchez, it was in that publication, and he said that cryptocurrencies have been opening new doors for Cubans. He said that he was now able to purchase some spare parts for his cell phone repair shop in Havana from an online Chinese store thanks to Bitcoin. Alex Sorbino, 33, the founder of Telegram channel Cuba Crypto, estimated that roughly 1,000 Cubans were using cryptos. Now, I know that's a very low number, but he's just basing it off of his estimates. He says they're using it to top up their cell phones, make purchases online, and there are even people reserving hotel rooms. So if that doesn't go to show you that there is utility, I don't know what to tell you. We also have 40% of millennials to invest in cryptocurrencies to hedge against a recession. Now, this was the survey that came out from eToro. Very small, only had 1,000 people, but out of those 1,000 people, 40% of the millennials said that they preferred crypto. You also had people from Gen X and Gen Z saying that they would probably choose to spend money to goods and even invest in real estate. But the younger generation looks like they're all about cryptos, but this was a very small sample. We also have the Watford FC, which is an English professional football club, has extended its partnership with sportsbet.io, an online sports betting firm, to enable the latter to place the Bitcoin logo on the club's shirt sleeves. So that's pretty cool. So now everyone's going to get to see the Bitcoin logo. That's just some more exposure. And God, I wish this wasn't my last story, but unfortunately, there was a banner on local Bitcoins right here that says, warning to all Tor users, a Tor browser exposes you to the risk of having your Bitcoin stolen. Now, I don't know much about Tor. I don't really use Tor. I know it's supposed to be like able to protect you, but then people say there's loopholes. I don't know if you're out there using Tor and you think that it's sort of keeping you totally anonymous. It may not be, and it also could be affecting your Bitcoin wallet. So just be careful. Don't get hacked, guys. Having a look, what is going on? We're just chilling, so let me know what you guys think. I know, kind of like an awkward place to end on. I don't know. I don't have a happy story. We can go back to the Cuba story and pretend like that was the ending one. So that's it for today, guys. You know what the happy story is? It's Friday. It's the end of the week, and it's actually a freaking beautiful day here in New York. Not a cloud in the sky. I'm thinking about going for a bike ride. What are you guys doing today? What are you doing on this beautiful day? Hopefully it's a nice day by you. Keep in mind, it is the weekend. Volume tends to drop. And when you have lower volume, you can have crazier volatile movements, so just be careful moving into the weekend. But that being said, let me know what you guys think about the overall video today. Do you think that this is a triangle, or do you think that